The first stop of our senior year graduation trip. I broke up with my childhood friend just because he insisted on rooming with me in a mixed-gender arrangement. He didn't try to comfort me at all and just said, "Don't regret it." He was so sure I couldn't live without him. He brought along a scholarship girl and dragged her across 3 countries. It wasn't until the day we had to submit our college applications that he finally called me and said, "Even if we're fighting, don't forget to apply to the same university as me. I'm Ryan. My whole life exists for you. Don't you get it?" What he didn't know was that I had already given up carrying that burden. I applied to the University of Hong Kong. From now on, I no longer needed him in my world. Ryan and I had agreed that after the college entrance exam, we'd go see the world together. But on the day we left, our trip for 2 became a trip for 3. We transferred flights in Urumqi and landed in Georgia. It wasn't until we got to the hotel that I found out Lily, the girl he brought along, didn't have the money to book a room and was going to share one with Ryan. I said no. Lily responded with a sarcastic tone, "Sorry, Emily. Maybe someone like you, who's never had to worry about food or money, just can't understand how someone like me, born poor, has to live so humbly just to save a little. Just the round-trip plane tickets used up all the money I'd saved from working every summer in high school. Anyway, the room's a double. The extra bed would just go to waste. Might as well let me use it. But don't worry, my family might be poor, but we're not cheap. I swear we're just sharing the room, not the bed. Sorry for the trouble. Please, can you help me?" Her eyes were red, her voice trembling with tears, and her body looked like it could collapse at any moment. She really did look pitiful, but I didn't see humility, only a complete lack of boundaries. I didn't want to enable her. I stood my ground and refused. "No, Ryan, if we're still in a relationship, then you can't share a room with another girl. Even if it's 2 separate beds, I just can't accept that." Ryan wrapped his arms around me with that usual smirk, trying to charm his way out of it. "Don't be petty. She can't afford a room. What else are we supposed to do?" I didn't understand and asked directly, if she doesn't have the money, then why did she insist on tagging along on an international trip? She knows she just graduated. Her family didn't suddenly win the lottery. Lily's eyes got even redder. She lowered her head, trying hard to hold back tears. "Sorry, it's just that my family's too poor. Poor people don't deserve to see the world. All we're good for is working summer jobs. I caused you two to fight. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry." Suddenly, she broke down and squatted on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Everyone around us started looking over, like I was bullying her. I already felt wronged enough. Then Ryan pulled me aside and said, "That's enough. Why are you being so aggressive? It's not her fault she's poor. Just let her stay with me tonight." My boyfriend going on a trip and sharing a room with another girl. How is that not a big deal? I'd spent over a month putting together a travel plan, imagining how sweet it would be for the 2 of us to enjoy this time together. Watching snow-capped mountains, strolling through grasslands, walking along the beach, checking in at Europe Square. I was so excited the night before we left that I couldn't sleep. And now, all of that turned into nothing. In that moment, I felt like this entire graduation trip had lost its meaning. "Ryan, let's break up." "What? Break up?" "I don't want to keep compromising myself. Whether you continue to take care of the scholarship girl or travel the world sharing rooms with whoever, you, Ryan, have nothing to do with me, Emily Lynn, from now on." I pulled my suitcase and walked away. At that moment, I just wanted to get as far away from them as possible. They were ruining my mood. Ryan finally panicked. He grabbed my wrist, pinched my nose playfully, and smiled like none of this was serious. "You know you can't live without me, but you keep using breakups to scare me. What's the point?" That smug look on his face, I slapped him. Hard. I yanked my arm out of his grasp, holding back the tears welling up in my eyes. My heart was shattered. This wasn't a threat, I meant it. "Ryan, if you're sharing a room with her, then we're breaking up. That's final. No discussion." I showed him my most determined stance, hoping he would understand how serious this was. But Ryan still thought I was just being dramatic. "Don't regret this," he said. Then there was Lily's delicate, teary voice chiming in. "I really envy Emily. You get to fight with him like this. People like me, from poor families, we don't even dare to fight. I guess when someone is used to being favored, they think they can act without consequence. She added, but seriously, you're not going after her. What if she really breaks up with you? I heard Ryan's confident voice from behind. She won't. We've known each other since we were 3. We grew up together. She can't live without me. I can't live without her either. People who are destined to be together for life won't be separated. Even when it came to college, we had already decided to apply to the same school. Ryan had no problem showing off our love in front of Lily. In the past, I probably would have started doubting myself, wondering if I was just being too petty. But I was done exhausting myself with that. I wiped my tears hard and walked out of the hotel, straight to the airport. I bought the earliest ticket I could find and flew home. When my mom saw the flight confirmation I sent her, she called right away. Emily, weren't you in Georgia with Ryan? Why'd you book a flight home? After I checked my suitcase and sat alone at the gate, hearing her voice made all the emotions I'd been holding in crash down at once. The tears came pouring out. Mom, I broke up with Ryan. But my mom just laughed. Broke up? Again? Which time is this now? Didn't you say Georgia was God's backyard? Snow-capped mountains, glaciers, beaches, castles. You spent a whole month planning this trip, and every day you were counting down to it. Weren't you going to take pictures with Ryan at every landmark and capture the memories of your youth? It'd be such a waste not to go. Turns out even my mom didn't believe I'd actually break up with Ryan. No wonder he acted like he had nothing to fear. He was never worried I'd leave. But this time, it wasn't an act. Ryan and I had grown up together, 15 whole years from kindergarten through high school. Rain or shine, he waited at my door every morning to walk me to school, always with my favorite milk in hand. He never said it was especially for me, just ruffled my hair as I took the cup and told me, "Don't dawdle, finish it up, princess." I still remember that scorching summer day in 7th grade. The classroom was like a steamer. I offhandedly said I wanted ice cream, and Ryan climbed over the school wall to get it. He came back dripping with sweat and carefully handed me a slightly melted mango ice cream. Hurry up and eat. This one has real mango chunks, your favorite. Later, the prettiest girl in school asked him, Ryan, can you get me one too? He just glanced at her and lazily smirked. We're not close, I only bring one for my moon. He called me Moon, and I really thought we'd be together forever. High school got stressful. We'd often escape to the rooftop to look at the stars. I asked him anxiously, do you think we'll really stay together? They say college is really far away. Ryan would scoff like it was the dumbest question he'd ever heard, then sling his arm around my shoulder and point to the 2 brightest stars above. See those? That's us. Been orbiting together since the day we lit up. Forget college, even if the Earth exploded, we'd be strapped together flying to the edge of the universe. That boyish, arrogant voice always carried a confidence that left no room for doubt. Emily Lynn, you have to understand, I, Ryan, exist in this world for you. Got it? But that same boy who once swore he'd walk with me forever, stopped comforting me the moment Lily, the new scholarship girl, appeared senior year. No more sweet words when I cried. No more coaxing when I threw a fit. No more patience when I lost my temper. What I got in return wasn't reflection or concern from Ryan, it was just his dismissive smile. You're mad again? What's this, the 100th time? It's not like I like her, I just feel sorry for her. Why are you being so jealous for no reason? Come on, babe, don't make a scene, okay? Right now, I wish I could tell Ryan, fine, from now on I won't make a scene anymore. No matter how beautiful yesterday was. It's all in the past now. If staying with him means I have to keep hurting myself, then I'd rather let go. I held my phone tightly and told my mom with a serious, steady voice, Mom, I'm serious. I'm breaking up with Ryan. You always told me, if you want to love someone, you have to love yourself first. She paused, surprised, then come back home first. The college entrance application deadline is just a few days away. I said okay. I told her I'd originally planned to apply to Fudan University with Ryan. But now I've changed my mind. Mom, I want to apply to the University of Hong Kong. She was shocked. You're not going to the same college as Ryan? He's applying to Fudan. Hong Kong and Fudan are so far apart. What if you regret this later? I shook my head firmly. If even you don't believe I can really break up with him, then I'll let physical distance help me cut ties. Isn't it true that time and distance can weaken any feeling? I admitted I hadn't completely moved on from Ryan yet, but I could let physical distance help me sever things once and for all. After waiting 2 hours at the airport, I finally boarded the plane. We had a transfer in Urumqi, and after a whole day of traveling, I finally landed in Hangzhou. I didn't expect that the moment I turned off airplane mode, Lily had already blown up her social media feed. Bookmark, go back. First meal after landing. Huge thanks to Ryan for sharing half of his meal with me when he realized I didn't bring enough money. Warm stomach, warm heart. The picture showed Lily smiling sweetly at the camera. That was the same restaurant I had spent so much time researching and added to the itinerary. I'd told Ryan I wanted to go there just to take cute pictures together. And now he took Lily instead. I didn't want to cry, but my tears betrayed me and rolled down anyway. My hand, betraying me too, kept scrolling. The snow-capped mountain is so beautiful. Thanks to Ryan for taking pictures for me over and over again. He took like a dozen before I finally got a decent one. Poor guy, his photography skills are top-notch. That snow mountain. It was the one I most looked forward to visiting with Ryan. So even without me there, he could still play the role of Lily's personal photographer. Just then, Ryan called, "My princess, you finally turned your phone on. Why did you fly home without a word? We planned this trip for over a month, and now you just ditch. Come on, it's just me and Lily now. How are we supposed to keep going like this?" Oh, so now he realizes it's just him and Lily, just a guy and a girl alone. But when it came to sharing a hotel room, he thought that was totally fine. Ryan kept complaining. "I was actually planning to give the room to her, sneak into your bed at night and surprise you. Now what am I supposed to do?" If I hadn't seen Lily's social media posts, I probably would have started blaming myself again. So that's what Ryan had in mind. But this kind of surprise, I'll pass. "You two seem to be having a great time though," I said. Ryan responded casually. "You're doing it again. I don't even like her. But since she's already here, I had to show her around, right? Besides, she scrimped and saved for 3 years just to afford those plane tickets." But that night, I got a message from Lily. "Emily, are you asleep? I'm really sorry. I actually wanted Ryan to fly back right away to find you. But I caught a chill in the mountains and now I have a fever. My throat hurts so much I can't speak. Ryan's feeding me ginger tea right now. Please don't be mad. Once I'm feeling better, I'll convince him to go back home to you. I'm sorry, I'm such a burden, making him take care of me like this." Attached was a picture. In the dim hotel room light, Ryan held a bowl in one hand and a spoon in the other. I knew exactly what Lily was doing, trying to provoke me on purpose. In the past, I always fell for it. Every time, I'd rush to Ryan and demand an explanation, but this time I didn't want to argue anymore. Suddenly, it just all felt meaningless. That night, my dad sat me down for a talk. "I heard from your mom that you're planning to apply to the University of Hong Kong. Does Ryan know?" I shook my head sadly. "There's no need to tell him. But after all these years together, are you really willing to live in separate cities? Even if I'm not, I have to be." I didn't want to keep exhausting myself emotionally. "Dad, HKU offers more international resources. Plus, Uncle teaches there. If I go, I'll have access to his network and opportunities that could help my future. Between love and a better future, I want to choose the future." My dad looked a little surprised, probably the first time he realized I could be this rational. "Then apply to HKU. I support you. And if Ryan comes back to win you over, tell him to apply there too." He was thinking too far ahead. Ryan never came back to win me over. Once Lily recovered, he took her on trips through 3 more countries. It wasn't until the final day of college application submissions that he called to remind me, "Even if we're fighting, don't forget to apply to the same university as me." "We're flying back in 2 days," he said. "Miss me?" "No," I answered. "I won't miss you ever again." Ryan laughed. "There you go again, always pretending." But he didn't know I wasn't pretending. I had already submitted my application to HKU. We wouldn't be attending the same university ever again. Even though I still tossed and turned every night, unable to sleep, still dreaming about him over and over again. I believed that once school started, the distance would help me cut him off completely. I hung up the call, and immediately blocked Ryan's number and his WeChat. My mom helped me plan a new graduation trip. She said, "There's more to do after graduation than just seeing the world. For example, why not try getting a private pilot license?" The day Ryan and Lily returned to China, I boarded a first-class flight to Australia. My mom had enrolled me in a flight school in New Zealand. It was a 2-month intensive course. The schedule was packed. Aside from the basics of flying, we studied meteorology, aviation law, aerodynamics, and how to read flight charts. I threw myself into the training like a newborn sponge, soaking up all the new knowledge with focus and determination. My classmates came from all over the world. Some were training for professional careers, others were here out of passion or for the thrill. When we talked, it was only about flying, about the weather, about the next flight exercise. The atmosphere was pure and simple. No one ever stood in front of me claiming, "I'm poor, so I'm entitled," or tried to guilt-trip me into making sacrifices. By the end of summer, I finally earned my private pilot license. I boarded a flight home. What I didn't expect was to see Ryan at the airport, waiting to pick me up. He reached for my suitcase. I didn't smile at him. I was still mad. "Seriously?" he said. "You're still hung up on that tiny thing from over 2 months ago? All I did was help a girl in need. Don't you always love doing charity?" He still thought it was a small thing, but whatever. "Ryan, we already broke up. Charity should be voluntary, not something forced or manipulated, and definitely not something you're guilted into because someone's poor. Why do we always end up arguing over someone who's not even part of our lives anymore?" He tried to change the subject. "Anyway, school starts in 3 days. Don't you want to register together?" No. I'm going to HKU. You're going to Fudan. There's no way we'll register together." But Ryan didn't know that. And I didn't feel like explaining it to him. He just ruffled my hair. "Always so stubborn with me. Fine, whatever. What can I do? You're my little moon. I guess I just have to spoil you." He grabbed my suitcase out of my hands and slung an arm around my shoulder as we walked, already talking about the future like nothing had happened. "My dad just bought a villa near Fudan. If you're not used to living in a dorm," Ryan said, "we can just get an apartment off campus together. Feeling better now?" He really thought that would cheer me up. He drove me home and still didn't forget to fish for credit. "I'm going to visit my grandma for a couple days, okay? I'll come pick you up in 3 days, and we'll go register for college together." This time, when he said I should hitch a ride with him, I refused without hesitation. But before I could stop him, he snatched my phone, took himself off my block list, and tapped me lightly on the head. "Don't ever block me again, you hear?" My parents came out of the villa to greet me, just as Ryan, humming to himself and looking smug like he just won a prize, drove away. My mom asked, "You didn't tell Ryan you applied to HKU?" I shook my head. "You didn't tell him either, did you?" Neither of them had mentioned a word about my application. They hadn't told anyone. I stayed home for 2 days resting. For the first time in a long while, my mind felt calm. The anxiety, the fear of loss, the obsession, it all seemed to have faded with time. The day before school started, my parents flew to Hong Kong with me. My uncle met us at the airport. When he heard that I had spent the whole summer in Australia earning my private pilot license, his eyes lit up. "Well now, our little girl's really grown up. Finally not glued to that childhood friend of yours, Ryan, was it? Every time you opened your mouth, it was all about him. This is so much better. Young people should take advantage of their energy and learn real skills. And after scoring so well on your exams and getting into HKU's finance program, what a great surprise." I felt proud of myself too. That stretch of heartbreak, filled with pain and self-doubt, hadn't crushed me. On the contrary, it was like a jarring wake-up call that forced me to lift my head and stop staring at that one lighthouse named Ryan. It made me look down and finally focus on the path under my own feet. Of course, it would be a lie to say I didn't feel anything at all. I thought back to all of senior year, how Ryan would constantly scold me because of Lily. "You're being too petty again," he'd say. "Stop making drama. Can't you just be more understanding? Her family's in a tough spot. What's so hard about cutting her some slack?" That kind of disappointment and frustration of being neglected and pushed aside piled up in my chest like heavy sandbags. Maybe it was precisely because I'd reached the limit of how much I could take that I finally quieted down. On those nights when I cried into my pillow, feeling utterly wronged, I would wipe my tears, pull out practice exams, and go over them again and again. The sleepless nights and emotional pain paid off when I scored higher than ever on the college entrance exam. It was what gave me the opportunity to apply to HKU and get in. I remember clearly the moment things started to shift between Ryan and me. It was the second morning after Lily transferred to our class. As always, at 6:15 sharp, Ryan should have been standing at my front door, holding my favorite milk, ready to walk me to school. It was our unbreakable ritual, 15 years of it, rain or shine, from elementary through high school. I was used to seeing him waiting there in the soft morning light, but that day the tree outside my house was empty. No one was there. I walked to school alone. It wasn't until after reading 2 articles in class that I saw Ryan and Lily stroll in, casually late. His hands were empty. I asked him, "Where's my milk?" He scratched his head. "Oh, I gave it to Lily." Then he laughed like it was no big deal. "Don't ask. She's new, didn't know the way. She lives to the east and said she was afraid of being late, so I went to pick her up." And on the way she had told him that growing up all she ever had for breakfast was plain steamed buns and water. She'd almost forgotten what milk even tasted like. I remembered the look on her face when she said that. Ryan's heart softened, and he casually handed her the bottle of milk meant for me. "It's nothing, Moon. Don't be upset. I'll bring you 2 tomorrow." He reached out, habitually trying to ruffle my hair, as if this was just a tiny, forgettable moment. Honestly, it was just a bottle of milk. I wasn't lacking in nutrition. But what I didn't expect was how suddenly Lily's eyes filled with tears. "It's all my fault. Emily, please don't be mad. I shouldn't have drunk it. Maybe it's just that you've grown up with a better life than us. You've never known what it's like to wake up every morning with nothing but cold, hard steamed buns. Even a sip of warm milk was a luxury. You wouldn't understand what that's like. I'm sorry. I'll never take anything from you again. Please, don't be mad." I was stunned. I had no idea Lily would suddenly turn it on me like that. Her tears started falling right as she finished speaking. So perfectly timed, it looked rehearsed. The class started whispering behind our backs. Was it really that serious? It's just a bottle of milk. Poor Lily. I heard her family really has it rough. Emily's that spoiled rich girl, right? It makes sense that she'd overreact to something so small. She just doesn't get what people from the bottom go through. Ryan heard the whispers too. He pulled me aside, trying to calm me down. All right, don't make a fuss. It's not a big deal, okay?" But I hadn't said a word. That was the first time Lily used her poverty as a weapon, and it turned me into the entitled, unreasonable princess. In truth, most disappointment builds up slowly, little by little, day after day. All the arguments that came later were just escalating reruns of that same scene. Thinking back, all that patience, all those moments of self-doubt, was I really being too petty? They were just foreshadowing the eventual rupture. Ryan probably never understood that when the foundation of trust and affection is chipped away again and again, eventually, the whole thing comes crashing down. And once it does, there's no going back. He was still cheerfully calling me on the phone. "Moon, come open the door. I'm back from Grandma's. I brought you your favorite flaky pastries. You're not home?" "Huh, no one's answering the door. Don't tell me you're still in bed. Wake up, sleepyhead. Today's the day we register at Fudan. If you don't get up, I'll go without you." He didn't know I had just left the airport, riding in my uncle's car toward my new school. But it wasn't Fudan, it was HKU. I picked up the call. "Ryan, you don't have to wait for me. Go register on your own. I wish you a great time at Fudan." He laughed nervously on the other end. "You little brat, are you messing with me again? You actually took it seriously? Come on, I'm downstairs. I swear it's just us this time." Lily also got into Fudan, but I'm telling you, I was super firm this time. I sent her a bunch of messages and told her she couldn't ride with me. Isn't that enough to prove how serious I am? I leaned my head against the window, looking out at the unfamiliar streets of Hong Kong. "No need," I said quietly. "Sincerity that shows up late is worth less than weeds. I'm already on my way to campus, but it's not Fudan. It's HKU." There was a long pause on the other end, then Ryan finally reacted. "Emily, HKU? Come on, stop messing around. We agreed we'd apply to Fudan together, didn't we? I get it, you're trying to scare me. Still mad at me, huh? But didn't we make up 3 days ago? My voice stayed calm. No, I'm serious. He went quiet, then suddenly his voice cracked with panic. You must still be in bed, Ryan said. Don't make me climb in through your window and drag you out of the covers. Through the phone, I could hear shuffling noises, rustling and fumbling, followed by a familiar voice yelling in the background. Hey kid. What are you doing? That's dangerous, get down from there. Then came the property manager's voice. There's no one home. The whole family went to Hong Kong. I'm not lying to you. What you're doing is breaking and entering. Chairman Lin called the building management personally before they left and said his daughter got into HKU. The whole family went with her to help with enrollment. No one will be home for a while. He asked us to keep a closer eye on the villa during patrols. Are you even listening? Hey, don't cry. What's with that look? Someone get his mom. This kid's not right. He looks like he's lost his soul. I didn't listen any further. I hung up the call. I knew Ryan couldn't accept it just yet. But just like how I cut myself off from him, the process would be painful, but one day, it would pass. I deleted Ryan's contact from my phone again, this time for good. From this moment on, whatever love or hatred we once had was no longer my concern. What I didn't expect was for him to buy a plane ticket that same night and rush straight to the dorm building at HKU. The moment he saw me walking out of the girls' dorm, he finally believed it. His eyes were red, voice shattered. The usual confidence and arrogance he wore like armor had completely vanished. All that remained was the panic and helplessness of someone who had just been abandoned. All because of her? He shouted. Because of Lily? His voice cracked into a desperate cry that made passing students turn to stare. Emily Lynn, do you even know what you're doing? We promised each other, we swore we'd stay together forever. Same college, same city, same future. How could you? How could you? His voice broke completely, trembling with disbelief and devastation. You really want to give up on me? You're seriously leaving me? Watching him like that, on the edge of breaking down, I won't pretend I didn't feel anything. 15 years of memories flickered through my mind. The stars we watched from the rooftop, the ice cream he snuck back over the school wall, the milk he handed me in the early morning light. But it all froze in place at that moment in Georgia when he laughed and said, Fine, just don't regret it. I looked at him calmly, my gaze cold, almost cruel. Ryan, I made the decision not to want you back at that hotel entrance 2 months ago. I told you then, we were done. I said it clearly. We're breaking up. And you said, fine, don't regret it. Well, I haven't regretted it. You're kidding me. His voice cracked. What do you mean, don't want me? What do you mean we're done? I was just saying that out of anger. Couldn't you tell? I thought you were the same as always, that after a fight, you'd come back around. How could you just unilaterally declare the death of 15 years of us? He reached out to grab my hand, but I stepped back before he could touch me. This proud boy, once the golden child, stood there like a stray dog left behind, unsure what to do. In the end, all he could do was pull out his phone, his hands shaking so hard his voice barely came out. I'll delete Lily right now. Block her. From now on, she'll have nothing to do with me. I'll never help her again. Just look at me, Moon, please. Look at me. I didn't want my calm to highlight his desperation. I shook my head. You should go. Don't embarrass yourself out here. Embarrass myself? He repeated, like he'd just heard something unbelievable. Then he gave a broken laugh. And just like that, tears started streaming down his face without warning. My Moon doesn't want me anymore. What's the point in saving face? He completely lost control. His expression twisted with grief, his tears mixed with pain. There wasn't a trace left of the brilliant, untouchable boy he used to be. He looked like a child abandoned by the whole world. His voice dropped, nearly begging. Emily, Moon, please, don't do this to me. Don't you remember what I said? I told you, my whole life, I exist for you. I meant that from the bottom of my heart, I still do. I had everything planned. My dad bought that villa next to Fudan just for us. I spent the whole summer overseeing the renovations myself, made sure everything was done in your favorite style. You said you wanted a ragdoll cat, but your mom has allergies, so you couldn't have one at home. I bought one. It's already living in the villa, just waiting for you. It was going to be a surprise. My entire future, everything I planned, had you in it. Only you. So how could you just decide out of nowhere that you don't need me anymore? Like tossing out an old piece of clothing, so cold, so heartless. Did you ever even love me at all? His last sentence came out in a near scream. Tears streamed down his face. He stared hard into my eyes, desperately searching for even the slightest flicker of hesitation or softness. But he didn't find it. Just like how he used to react every time I broke down. Calm, dismissive, detached. Enough, Ryan, I said quietly. Stop making a scene. Don't act like a sore loser. That word, sore loser, cut him deep. His eyes widened in disbelief. You think I'm making a scene? I just don't get it. How could you sentence our 15-year relationship to death over one little thing? I finally laughed, and the tears followed. One little thing? Have you counted how many of those little things there were? In your eyes, Lily's poverty is fact. My frustration is drama. Her needs are sympathy-worthy. My boundaries are overreactions. And when I broke down, when I was barely holding it together, where were you? What were you doing? Ryan, let me make this clear. The breakup wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. It was your long-term neglect, your repeated disregard for how I felt every time something involved Lily. And now you're telling me about a villa? A cat? So what? You deleted Lily. So what? You bought a house. You got a cat. That's all your own self-gratifying idea of love. I don't need it anymore. As for your future plans, your disappointment, those are yours to deal with now. After I let go, it all stopped being my responsibility. I didn't wait for his reaction. I turned and walked away without hesitation. Even as he shouted hoarsely behind me, Emily Lynn, how could you just let go like that? 15 years. How do you just throw that away? I paused for just a second, then I turned back and answered him. Just like all those times I told you, crying, Ryan, I'm unhappy, I'm hurting, I can't take this anymore. And you laughed and said, don't be dramatic. I finally learned to accept your indifference, and now I'm giving it back to you. And with that, I turned and walked into the dorm building without looking back, shutting out the boy who had once been my whole world, along with his heartbreak, his pleas, and the shattered dream of our future, on the other side of the glass revolving door. My new life truly began in that moment. Every day, I was as busy as a spinning top. During the day, I darted between classes and the library. At night, I studied with my group until late. Life without Ryan at college, turns out it could be fulfilling too. For 4 full years, I never once returned to Hangzhou. But Ryan came to HKU almost every weekend. Even though I refused to see him, even though every visit ended with a closed door in his face, he still wouldn't give up. When my roommates and I went shopping, he trailed behind us, always trying to pay for everything. When I went to study at the library, he woke up early just to save me a seat. Especially on my birthday, without fail, he bought a plane ticket, showed up with a cake, and stood downstairs at the girls' dorm like some pitiful Romeo. I refused to come out, but he no longer threw tantrums. He had learned to endure it, quietly swallowing his pain. Week after week, he persisted in trying to leave traces of himself in my world, haunted, hollow, but clinging to what little dignity he had left. He was like a craftsman trying to fix shattered glass, desperate, clumsy, and stubborn. He tried everything he could think of, even to the point where his efforts started to feel more like harassment. But he still refused to leave my world. Whenever a girl, drawn to his good looks, asked for his WeChat, he would coldly reject her and declare, I already have someone at HKU. My roommates were moved by his persistence. It's been 4 years, they said. He's never wavered. Maybe. Give him another chance? I just shook my head. Too late. If it's late, it doesn't deserve a chance. I was preparing for graduate school in the US. This time, I didn't even tell my roommates. I left quietly with a single plane ticket and changed my phone number to cut off any way for Ryan to reach me. I later heard that after he couldn't find me at HKU, Ryan went almost insane trying to track me down. He even knelt at my uncle's front door, refusing to leave until he gave up my location. That was when he finally understood. Those 4 long, awkward years of trying to win me back had been nothing more than a self-deceiving dream. The heartbreak and emptiness swallowed him whole. His fantasy shattered, leaving him with nothing. What I didn't expect was to end up in the same research group as Lily in grad school. Clearly, She'd worked hard for a better future. But unfortunately, her usual tactic of, "I'm poor, so I'm entitled," didn't get her far in a US university. Once, Lily tried to negotiate with our advisor. "Professor, I come from a poor family, and I have to work weekends to make ends meet. Could the other students take on more of the basic tasks like data collection and literature review? That way I could focus on the core analysis and still earn enough." She said it in her usual soft voice, as if being poor meant others naturally owed her accommodations. The room went silent. Everyone exchanged awkward glances. The professor rejected her directly. "Lily, if you can't balance your time, I don't recommend you continue with my research group. Everyone here survives on scholarships and part-time jobs. The rule here is simple: no excuses." Lily stood there, her face turning pale, then red. Not a single person spoke up for her. Here, poverty wasn't a privilege. It was a challenge to overcome. Worse still, she tried to pull strings with international research funding. In her application, she heavily emphasized her family's poverty and claimed she had participated in cutting-edge research back in China. But American professors do their due diligence. They found discrepancies between her claims and the truth. Her involvement in the research was minimal, and some academic records were even falsified. American universities have zero tolerance for academic misconduct. Her application was not only rejected, but she was also asked to voluntarily withdraw from the program or face more severe legal consequences. Lily broke down in tears and came to me in a panic. "Are you happy now? Proud of yourself?" I clutched my books, calm and steady. In my heart, there was only a sense of closure. When the victim narrative she relied on stopped working, fate stepped in with sharp, undeniable irony. It's true. Karma may be late, but it never forgets to arrive. 2 years later, I completed my degree and returned to China to take over my family's multi-billion-dollar business empire. A photo of me arriving at the airport was picked up by paparazzi and shared on a luxury gossip blog. Whispers spread through elite circles. The long-lost first love has finally come home. I didn't care much for that kind of gossip. After returning, I threw myself fully into the family business. 1 week later, at the Lin Group's board meeting, I was officially named heir and CEO, opening a new chapter in my life. A few days later, at a grand charity gala, I moved through the crowd with ease, conversing confidently with top scholars and influential figures. From a corner of the room, Ryan watched me silently. It wasn't until he bid an outrageous sum, $200 million, for a rare collectible that he found the courage to approach me. He placed the gift in my hands and said, "It's for you, Moon." I gave him a calm, graceful smile. "I'm no one's Moon anymore. I'm my own sun." The girl who once believed she couldn't live without him, that version of me had long been broken and buried by my own hands. In her place stood a woman who now led the Lin Group with strength and clarity. My future was always meant to shine brighter than being someone's moon. Ryan's mother bypassed him and came forward to take my hand. "It's so good to see you, Emily. Auntie's truly happy for you. Look at you, accomplished, beautiful, capable. This is what a real winner looks like." "Who cares about feelings?" Ryan's mom said. "What's love compared to being strong on your own? You don't know how my son has been these years." She sighed. "In the end, it's just Ryan's loss. All I wish for now is your happiness." I smiled softly. "Auntie, I really am happy now." My assistant and a team of bodyguards escorted me to the airport, where I boarded the private jet that symbolized freedom, identity, and a higher platform. In that moment, a sense of peace and fulfillment settled completely within me. Even the gossip blogs quietly changed their headlines, from "White Moonlight Returns to the Country" to "Heiress Comes Home."